friend. Welcome to the Fruitful Fertility Podcast. Do you want to better understand your body so you can get pregnant naturally? Do you find yourself up late at night Googling how to ovulate on your own or natural fertility tips? Do you feel lost on what your next step should be? Hey, I'm Tori, a registered nurse, Christian fertility coach, and your new TTC BFF. When I started my fertility practice, I realized how much the modern medical system was missing when it came to supporting women trying to get pregnant. I knew God had called me to this space to bridge that gap and provide more natural fertility support and education. With time and a little trial and error, I found a foundational way to assess infertility cases and get better results. In this podcast, you will finally understand how your body and fertility work, support to stay off that emotional roller coaster, and a proven strategy to improve ovulation and increase your fertility naturally. If you're ready to get started, drop those ovulation sticks and grab a pen because, girl, you look fertile to me. Welcome back, my friends. I have a really great episode for you. This is 4 surprising root causes of unexplained infertility that your doctor didn't mention. And unexplained infertility has really become one of my just favorite things to talk about because it is such a struggle, right? Like you feel lost for answers. You're not sure what to do. Your doctor says it kind of just like it's a diagnosis, but it's really not. And because of HTMA and mineral balancing, to me, there's no such thing as unexplained infertility. I can look at your test and tell you what the issue is and what we can do to improve it. So I just feel very passionate about calling that out because I don't want you to stay stuck. And with that introduction, I also want to remind you, if you're listening, that you still have time to enroll in the HTMA program, the bundle. It's always open, but if you enroll before the 15th, then you are put into a giveaway to win a 1-hour call with me. So just me and you on Zoom, answering all your questions, talking about all the things, sipping coffee like we're little TTC BFFs. So make sure to do that. I can't wait to see you in there. And from here, let's get straight into it. The 4 surprising root causes of unexplained infertility. Number 1 is what I call a calcium shell. So on HTMA, this is a test where we look at the minerals in your hair and it tells us different things about what's going on in your body. Your mineral levels, your heavy metal status, blood sugars, adrenals, thyroids, nervous system, so many things. But one thing I have seen a lot, I actually saw it twice this week on 2 different clients, is what we call a calcium shell. And this particular priority or situation is important for unexplained infertility because it will not show up on blood tests. Your doctor's not going to be like, oh, it looks like you got a calcium shell. And if your thyroid labs are also quote unquote normal, but you still have a lot of those hypothyroid symptoms, this is probably why. So a calcium shell is when we are excreting so much calcium, our body is dumping so much calcium at such a high rate that it actually creates this shell around our cells. And that means that nothing can get in and nothing can get out. So it may be that you're making perfectly adequate amounts of thyroid hormone, but it cannot be utilized by your body. It cannot get in and out of the shell. Same for things like detoxing. This is why I don't typically suggest a heavy duty detox right off the bat. I know you guys want to do that. I have wanted to do that in my time too. Love to jump on these heavy detoxes because it just sounds good, right? Like, ooh, let's detox. But if you have a calcium shell, your body's not really pulling stuff out of your cells. It's not pulling it out of your body. And so you're wasting a lot of your time and money on that. That is another thing that I really like to teach here is steps, like doing things in certain orders, because it's not that a detox is a bad idea. It's just that you have to do it in the right order. But a calcium shell is the perfect kind of like hidden thing that you wouldn't see at a doctor's office, but that I can find on an HTMA test and pretty easily remedy. So calcium shells are also seen a lot with people who are very guarded with their emotions and kind of numb. So if you are the kind of person that hides your feelings, you stuff them down, you might be someone who is dealing with a calcium shell. And that's another thing that's really cool about HTMA is that it's not just minerals and science. It also helps us connect emotions, why we feel the way we feel. If you're someone that's like, I just feel really irritable all the time and I'm not sure why, it's probably a mineral imbalance. It's not that you're just a BO with a bad attitude, okay? We can tie it back to minerals. So again, a calcium shell really causes unexplained infertility because thyroid hormone cannot be utilized properly. You can't always detox properly. And so it's really interfering with that hormone balance. Number 2 is going to be emotional disconnection. And even more specifically, I think negative beliefs you constantly replay in your mind. So there's this book by John Acuff, I believe is his name, called Soundtracks. And he talks about how if we have a negative thought, we replay it in our mind over and over and over and over again, just kind of out of habit. And that soundtrack that we're playing is not true. That negative belief we have about ourselves is typically not true. And the more often we have that thought, that negative thought, the more our body perceives it as danger. And repeat it with me. If you're an OG podcast listener, you're tired of hearing me say this, but your body is always trying to keep you safe. And so if you are replaying this negative thought over and over and over and over again, and this could be around fertility, but this could be anything like that you're mean to yourself about how your body looks. Every time you look in the mirror, you're being mean to yourself. You feel, inferior at work, and so you're constantly feeling like I don't do enough, I didn't do a good enough job, I'm not good as so-and-so. These kinds of things replaying constantly in your mind is affecting your physical health, and it can actually play into unexplained infertility through mineral imbalances, through things like a calcium shell and some of these others that I'm about to talk about. And so this is really hard, and again, I've mentioned this before, but one of the things I see a lot with unexplained infertility are people pleasers and type A perfectionist. So if you're someone who's not kind to yourself because you're a type A perfectionist and you're constantly going, that is an emotional disconnection. If you are someone who doesn't believe in your ability to get pregnant because it's taken so long and now you feel like you're failing everybody and it's your fault and you're incapable and God's forgotten about you, there's a spiritual disconnection there, an emotional disconnection. If you are someone who experienced trauma as a child, I unfortunately do see women with unexplained infertility that have been sexually abused as a child, and that is hard, and that trauma is living within your body and you're holding on to it, and we have to heal from it and release it. And I don't say that lightly. I know that is a big deal. And if you're on your way to work right now listening to this episode and I just dropped this bomb on you, I am so sorry, but it's okay. It's just, we are just really wanting to get to the root, and true healing and true fertility comes from really exposing these things. I can't tiptoe around it. I just have to tell you how it is. So, but emotional disconnection is a big one. Number 3 is toxic burden. So toxic products. You've likely been down the non-toxic rabbit hole, looking at products that have endocrine disruptors, things like that. But again, your body's ability to detox from those things or cutting those things out will help. I also see this on HTMA in the form of what I call contaminations. So I've had a few clients that are on well water without filters, and so they have contaminations of arsenic, or one was manganese. I have clients that are in Arizona and New Mexico that have uranium in their water. And this is a contamination, and that toxic burden on our body is its priority. So it's working really hard to get rid of this contamination, of this toxic burden. So it doesn't have time to worry about ovulating and getting pregnant because it's trying to take care of this toxic burden you're dealing with. So that is number 3. Number 4 is total burnout. I also see this quite a lot. And total burnout is where all your minerals are depleted. Your body is truly operating on the least amount of fuel possible. So your adrenals are shot, your thyroid is shot, your mineral levels are depleted. And this comes from really all the things I mentioned above. It could be because of a calcium shell. It could be from emotional disconnection, could be from toxic burden. That burnout can come from a lot of different places, and we live such busy lives, guys. Like, we are busy all the time. We are always going, always doing more, especially if you're a recovering people pleaser like me. You're really, going outside of yourself for so many things, and we have to learn to rest and nourish so that we aren't burnt out. And that does take practice. That's also kind of a hard one. But it takes time, it takes baby steps, it takes practice. And lucky for you, I'm going to give you 3 tips today to help you with almost any of these, absolutely any of these. You could do all 3 of these and do it for 30 days and your mineral status would be better for it. Your fertility would be better for it. Number 1 is going to be Rise and Source from Frequence. These are my number 1 supplement suggestions across the board for anybody dealing with fertility issues and especially unexplained infertility. And the reason for this is because these 2 together, 1, it's so easy to take. You turn it into like a mango lemonade. Right now I'm actually drinking the limited time watermelon lime flavor, which is chef's kiss, so good. But this combination is easy to take every day. It's full of trace minerals to add those minerals back in to nourish your body. It has black humic and fulvic acid in it, which is going to be that very gentle detox. So if you are dealing with that toxic burden, it's going to help pull that stuff out. If you do have a contamination that you don't even know about yet, it's going to help pull that out. And then the Rise is full of adaptogens and nootropics, and some of these nootropics are actually known for improved egg quality. And then the adaptogens are like a blend of 7 different mushrooms that are really going to calm that nervous system. So if you're dealing with emotional disconnection, if you're dealing with toxic burden, if you're dealing with burnout, this is going to help calm your nervous system. It's going to help improve your gut health, which we know is also connected. And so you're really getting to the root of why you might be dealing with unexplained infertility in the first place. And I love this option because I also call it the easy button. Instead of going to the doctor and getting tests and doing all the things and feeling like you need a workout program and to do one more thing, all you need to do is drink this lemonade every day. And it does not get easier than that. There is a friend of mine in the Frequence community who said she was dealing with unexplained infertility for a while, took Clomid, finally got pregnant, and then 5 months later, after she'd had that baby, trying to get pregnant again, she was on Rise and Source for 5 months and she became pregnant. So just a really good example of like, no matter what the issue is you're dealing with, this is a great place to start that's really going to touch those foundational issues. Number 2 is going to be to grab a book. I know that's a weird suggestion, but I have found that reading is such an easy place of joy for me, especially like fiction and something like that, to like turn my brain off to rest. So it helps in that form. So reading fiction for joy, if you're a reader, highly recommend Book of the Month. I love it. That's my new obsession. But number 2 is really to look at personal development or spiritual books to help you. So if you are someone who's dealing with that emotional disconnection, maybe you're dealing with trauma in your past, negative beliefs, there's a book for it. So instead of going to the doctor, making an appointment, going to the therapist, these things that are all wonderful, and not that there's anything wrong with that. If you can work with a therapist, I highly, highly, highly recommend it. I can't say enough good things about the life coach I worked with a few years ago. But if you just need somewhere easy to start, I want you to just grab a book. One that ChatGPT offered to me was called Try Softer by, I don't know that I'm pronouncing her name right, Andi Kalor. That's probably not right. But it said that she was a Christian therapist and she really came at trauma and emotional healing from a spiritual place. And like, oh, perfect. That's what my people need. I actually put it on my list of books that I want to read. Winning the War in Your Mind by Craig Rochelle is a great book. I mean, and honestly, let's be honest, the Bible is a good book. If you're not picking up your Bible enough, you're not doing plans, like a YouVersion Bible plan, that is a great place to start to feel more connected to God, which will help you feel more connected to yourself. So grab a fun book to read, grab a personal development book to read. That's really my goal, is to read a fun book and a personal development book every month. But just start there. Don't feel like you've got to, just start a whole new routine, a whole new life right now. Just read a book that might have some helpful tips for you. And do it while you're sipping your Rise and Source lemonade. And that'd be a beautiful combination. And number 3 is, of course, to get your HTMA test done, because we can see if you have a calcium shell. We can see if you have a toxic burden. I can see if you're burned out. Your minerals will probably also let me know if your emotional disconnection is playing a role, and especially after I look at your intake form. So all these things, these surprising root causes of unexplained infertility, we can figure them out by going straight to an HTMA test. It's the coolest test you'll ever take. I've recently had a client this week and I went over her results, and I thought her response of how she felt afterwards was so good, because she said, I just feel a sense of freedom. She's like, I've been looking online, looking at, all the things, not knowing exactly what to do. And she goes, and having this plan just really makes me feel like I have a sense of freedom. And I thought, oh, that is so good. I have never thought to use those words, but a sense of freedom. Doesn't that sound nice to not like be tied down by this quote unquote diagnosis of unexplained infertility, but to have an action plan, to have answers, to know what's causing it, and to know exactly what to do to improve your fertility and to fix it, can give you a sense of freedom and break out of this weary, tired, burdened place that you are in. And I want to do that with you. So click the link in the show notes. Let's get your HTMA test done. Let's grab a good book. Let's get some Rise and Source and let's get to it, because girl, you look fertile to me. I love you, and I will see you next week. Thanks for hanging out with me today. If this episode touched your heart or taught you something, I'd be honored if you share it with a friend who could use the information too. And if you want to be the real MVP, then would you also take 30 seconds to tap those 5 stars at the bottom and leave a written review telling me what you're loving? It lights me up to know this podcast is really helping you. Don't forget, you're super cute and super fertile, so meet me back here next week and let's keep chatting and learning together.